We are going inside the toy box with Monsters Inc., so let's get cracking! Hello, all my explorers, and welcome back to Loren's Adventures Out There. And if you're new, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. My name is Loren, and I'm with Castles, Capes, and Clones, where we discuss everything in the Disney universe. We talk Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, The Muppets, 20th Century, Disney Plus, Hulu, ABC. If it's about Disney, we are going to be talking about it. So if you like that kind of content, we'd love it if you would subscribe to our channel, hit the bell for notifications, and do like this post, as it really does help us out. So we are continuing our series, Inside the Toy Box, which is our look at the films of Pixar Animation Studios in chronological order. And today we are talking about 2001's Monsters, Inc. Monsters, Inc. tells the story of where the monsters who live in your closet come from and why they want to scare you, to provide electricity for their city, and what happens when a young girl follows its monster into their world. The idea for this movie began during a lunch meeting among John Lasseter, Andrew Stanton, Pete Docter, and Joe Ranft, shortly before Toy Story was completed. It was during this meeting that they dreamt up A Bug's Life, Monsters, Inc., Finding Nemo, and Wall-E. When we were making Toy Story, Doctor said, everybody came up to me and said, "Hey, I totally believe that my toys came to life when I left the room." So when Disney asked us to do some more films, I wanted to tap into a childlike notion that was similar to that. I knew monsters were coming out of my closet when I was a kid, so I said, "Hey, let's do a film about monsters." When Pixar focused on A Bug's Life and Toy Story 2, Doctor went to work on developing Monsters, Inc. in 1996. He pulled together a few story people, including Harley Jessup, Jill Colton, and Jeff Pigeon, and developed a treatment which he brought to Disney to pitch. The team left with a few suggestions, most notably to change the title from just Monsters to Monsters, Inc. by Disney story legend Joe Grant, as a play on Murder, Inc. Monsters, Inc. then went into production, becoming the first Pixar film to be produced without Lasseter in the director role. Direction would be done by Docter, Lee Unkrich, and David Silverman. The story ended up taking many forms during development. At first, Docter wanted to do a film about a 30-year-old man who had to conquer his fears by conquering the monsters who lived in his closet. Docter quickly scrapped that story for a buddy movie featuring an up-and-comer scarer named Johnson and a girl named Mary, whose age and ethnicity changed several times. They also kept going back and forth between Johnson already being a scarer to wanting to become a scarer and envious of the chief scarer Ned, who would later become Randall. It was during a story summit in 1998 between Disney and Pixar members that they began to think about the buddy being another monster with which Johnson, now called Sullivan, could bounce and riff off of. Concept artist Ricky Nerva drew a green ball with one eye, and the rest was history. He was named Mike after the father of Pete Docter's good friend, Frank Oz, a fellow director and Muppeteer. For the role of Sully, Bill Murray was originally tested and interested, But due to some miscommunication, Murray thought Pixar was uninterested in him and moved on. So the role went to John Goodman, who was well known as the affable husband and father on Roseanne. Billy Crystal, who regretted turning down the role of Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story, immediately accepted. Unlike other Pixar films, Monsters Inc. assigned lead directors to its characters. John Cars on Sully, Andrew Gordon on Mike, and Dave Devon on Boo. Cars at first was challenged by the sheer mass of Sully. He felt something that size might move laboriously, but both he and John Goodman started to think of him as a football player at the prime of his life and could move much more quickly and dexterously. The other challenge was fur. While other production houses such as Rhythm and Hughes had tackled fur, Pixar had not. After some less successful attempts, Pixar set up a simulation department and created a new fur simulation program called FITS, which is short for Physics Tool. It was through FITS that they were able to get the luxurious look they needed. Monsters Inc. held the record for having the biggest opening weekend of an animated film, making 62 making 62 million 50 70 making 62 million $577,067 and surpassing the previous record held by Toy Story 2. I'm gonna Monsters Inc. held the record for having the biggest opening weekend for an animated film at that time, and surpassing the previous record held by Toy Story 2. The film was ranked as the biggest 3-day opening weekend for an animated film, dethroning Pearl Harbor. The film made a worldwide total of over $577 million. The film is Pixar's ninth highest grossing film worldwide and sixth in North America. For a time, the film surpassed Aladdin as the second highest grossing animated film of all time, only behind 1994's The Lion King. Critically, the film scored 96% on Rotten Tomatoes, with critical consensus saying, clever, funny, and delightful to look at, Monsters Inc. delivers another resounding example of how Pixar elevated the bar for modern, all ages animation. Monsters Inc. was Randy Newman's fourth feature with Monsters Inc. was Randy Newman's fourth feature film collaboration with Pixar. The end credits song, If I Didn't Have You, was sung by John Goodman and Billy Crystal. Monsters Inc. won the Academy Award for Best Original Song with If I Didn't Have You. It was his 15th nomination. It was one of the first animated films to be nominated for Best Animated Feature, but lost to Shrek. It was also nominated for Best Original Score, which lost to The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Rings, and Best Sound Editing, losing to Pearl Harbor. Shortly before the film came out, Pixar sued was Shortly before the film came out, Pixar was sued by a children's songwriter named Lori Madrid. She claimed the company stole ideas from her poem There's a Boy in My Closet. Madrid claimed that after selling her idea to Chronicle Books, to be made into a local stage musical. Chronicle Books, in turn, sold her idea to Pixar. The judge, however, refused to file a preliminary injunction, stating the Pixar movie was nothing like her poem. Also, after the movie release, artist Stanley Mouse claimed Disney and Pixar based Sully and Mike after his drawings. He said that artists from Pixar came to visit him before the film was released. While Disney and Pixar did claim that the characters were developed independently, they did settle for an undisclosed amount. Monsters Inc. still has left behind a wonderful legacy. It has released several shorts and ultimately a prequel called Monsters University about Mike and Sully's college days. An animated show on Disney Plus called Monsters at Work was developed and followed the employees of Monsters Inc. facility team, MIFT, particularly Tyler, who dreams of being a scarer. John Goodman and Billy Crystal reprised their roles in the series as recurring characters. So, what did I think of Monsters Inc.? I love Monsters Inc. It has always been a film that has been up there in my love of Pixar films. It would be interesting to see exactly where it is. It might have dropped out of my top 10, but that's mainly because Pixar has come up with so many good films that I have had to eventually push down others. But I do absolutely adore this film. I think that the story is just quite imaginative. And, I've always wondered, I always thought that there was a monster in my closet as well. And so I just love that idea that there are these monsters that are in your closet trying to get you to, be scared so that they can power their city, but then eventually learned that laughter is even better at powering the city. So I just thought that that was great. I'm always struck by the animation of Sully's fur and how fluffy and delightful he looked. And I just think that that was just such a great thing. So, anyway, have you watched Monsters Inc.? And if you did you love it or did you hate it? Let me know in the comments below. And if you had a good time, we would love it if you would subscribe to our channel, hit the bell for notifications, and do like this post as it really does help us out. Visit us on all of our socials down below and visit our website at www.castlescapesandclones.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you later. Bye!